YouTube. Welcome to Terry Talks. It is December 12th, 2022, and I just wanted to make a quick video. I have been thinking about this, and this had kind of been in my mind. I want to do a video about being a late bloomer. And when I say that, I don't mean like growth spurt or anything like that. I mean just like in your ideology and the way you think about things, the way you did things when you were younger, older. Well, anyway, let me tell you what I mean. I'll give you a perfect example. I've always felt like in the last couple of years that I've come to understand and know some things I believe later in life. And upon consideration, I'm thinking I should have been knowing this in my 20s, 30s, even 40s. The way I thought about things, the way I would just react to things is one of those situations where I say I'm a late bloomer. When it comes to my career, you may not know my background. I don't think I've talked about it, but from 2010 to 2019, I was a stay-at-home mom. My two youngest girls have disabilities. My youngest is Down syndrome, and my youngest is on the spectrum. So with all the therapies and things like that, I would stay home. I decided to stay home with them while my husband worked. So getting back to present time, or even reflecting during that time, I can recall jobs I've had and things like that. Well, I'll go back. My background is in healthcare. I worked in healthcare since 2000, with the exceptions of the 9 years that I was a stay-at-home mom. And thinking back, my first job in like healthcare, I got laid off twice in healthcare. And each time I was rejoicing. I was rejoicing to get laid off because I was okay with collecting unemployment, not having to get up early in the morning to get to a job, or just basic stuff. And instead of having a mindset of, you know what, why don't I just be diligent and keep applying for jobs in the field I'm in and take this thing seriously. I thought this is vacation. And my job wasn't bad. It wasn't like I worked with bad people, or it was just we were getting laid off. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be going home. I'll be able to just be at home. I don't know what I was thinking. And that's part of being a late bloomer, because now I would not, unless I worked at a job that was absolutely horrible, I would not be reveling in being laid off. And I wasn't young when this happened. I'm talking like 30, 31. I was married to my first husband, and I had I have 4 kids total. And these 2 children were my older ones. So I had, I don't know, probably 6 and 6 and 2. So it's not like I was single and had the option. I mean, my first husband worked, but I mean, just the fact that I needed to work too, for career sake. I had got into healthcare by accident. A friend of mine knew that I was looking for a job, and she said, hey, come, work with me at Humana. You can get in. I know the people. So I got in there, and, it was not a bad job. There was a girl that I worked with who I was pretty good friends with, and I don't think she got laid off, but she, to this day, is still there. And my point is, I was not thinking big picture. I'm thinking couple months off, couple weeks off. I mean, what was I gonna do? What is? don't know. I don't think I had a plan. I don't know what I was thinking. And that's happened to me 3 times. And like I said, I'm not a spring chicken when this stuff happened. Second time it happened, I probably was 34. Had a whole house note, car note. 2 of my oldest kids. We were living in a house. And no, that was the 3rd time. Yeah, was it? That was the 3rd time. So I got laid off twice from Humana. Each time I was rejoicing, like, hey, I'm just going to be at home. But who knows what I was thinking. And the 3rd time was at another healthcare company. Now, that was absolutely horrible. The people there, and I can see what I rejoiced in. But even then, I think I was like 37. And then I didn't right away go into it looking for another job right away. I felt like I didn't strike while the iron was hot. I didn't have to be unemployed after those layoffs. I didn't have to. I could have been actively seeking employment in my field and probably would have been somewhere management, maybe. But instead, I was just didn't take all of it seriously. Don't ask me why, because right now I am a proponent of career advancement and just work it. I would advise my kids, nobody to have that mindset, nobody to do that. Just look for a better job. Look for a job where you have a job if you're unhappy. So that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is financial literacy. I don't know what to say. Growing up, I don't ever think I was taught to save. Money is important just by living. Money is important. You need it. But it was never instilled in me to be, okay, my savings account, put money in there. I need to keep saving money because if I want this, I'll save money for it and I get it. That was never instilled in me. And if it was, I wasn't listening. I had an aunt who worked at a bank. I don't know. But even as a young adult in corporate or whatever jobs I had that had 401k, I would put some in it, but I wasn't thinking, well, this is my retirement. I need to be on top of this. It was like every job I left, I'm cashing out my 401k. I'm not transferring it to another job I have. I'm not doing any of that. It was just about the here and the now, the money, just living without a plan. I mean, I guess when you're younger, even in your 30s, you never think that day will come where you're facing retirement. Now I'm at the age where it's like I'm 50. If I retire at 67, I only have like 17 years left. I haven't been financially responsible. And let me clarify that. I don't mean I'm not a spender. I don't blow money on clothes or shoes or unnecessary things like that. I don't have a car note. I own my cars. We own our cars. So yeah, I'm not, when I say that, I don't mean like I'm reckless with money. I'm not reckless with money. I pay my bills on time. And I never was reckless with money. I never would like take the rent money and go buy a TV, or take the rent money and go buy a new outfit. I never was that type of person. Never. So in that aspect, that's not what I mean. When I mean financially, it literally is meaning as far as like stocks and bonds, 401k, IRAs, just understanding the importance of saving. And what I call it is being a grown up. I'm a whole 30 years old, whole 40 years old. Just not, I don't know, maybe a lot of people are like that. Maybe we all think we're just going to live off Social Security. But at this age, and previously we're doing the math, if you retire at 67 and say you make, I don't know, $65,000 a year at 51, 52. So your mortgage, your utilities, your way of life is based on $65,000 a year. So, okay, your Social Security money is based on how much you've made over the years. And I'm assuming that, say my Social Security is $1,600 a month. And I was alone. That is, you can't keep your house. You can't pay your house with that. You can't pay, say, a $1,200 mortgage, a $200 a month electric bill, a gas bill, or whatever. If you have not planned to have money set aside, how can you pay that? Now, my light just fell off. Please excuse me. How can you afford to pay that? And the answer is you can't. You can't afford to pay a mortgage and off of Social Security and live like how you wanted to live. So, excuse me. This light, I have my lighting, it's just falling down on me. But you cannot afford to live off of Social Security alone. If you have a spouse, then it's a little bit better. Excuse me, I'm just trying to get this light right. It's a little bit better because you guys will have, say he or she gets $1,400. That's a little better, but if you're making like $65,000 a year, you're used to having like $4,000 a month in revenue. So you're gonna come up short. So unless you have saved 401k, whether it be investments that you have put in stocks or IRAs, and I still don't fully know the lingo, y'all. This is kind of embarrassing. Being 50 years old, not really understanding the total lingo. But it's scary. It's scary. And I suspect that's why a lot of people do YouTube, because it's like a second job. And it's also, I was just thinking this too, YouTube is also like a video diary. If nobody even watches your videos, of course you want to make revenue from it. But if nobody watches your videos, it's kind of like a note to self in a visual form. But it's scary. It's scary. And my husband always says to not be too hard on us about it, because a lot of people have not worked jobs in life that would afford them the opportunity to put away money enough to make a difference. Because you can have 401k and you put $25 in per paycheck. That's $50 a month. Times 12 months, what is that? A little over $500. So you put in $500 and say 10 years, that's $5,000 20 years, that's 10,000. I mean, you still lacking. I think you need to have. How did I? This is my math. This is my math. It's not math that I read anywhere, but I figure you retire at 67. Say if you retire, some people have to keep working. I might be one of them. I don't know if Lord willing I'm still alive, but say you retire 67, you live till 80. So that's 13 years. So you want to have at least, oh gosh, that's hard to figure out. You want at least, I say about $400,000. You want to have at least about $400,000 in addition to your Social Security. And I think everybody should save as if Social Security didn't exist. You should save like it didn't exist. So you got $400,000 and you can live off of that. And I don't know when, I mean, nobody knows. Somebody could drop dead at 52. I mean, you don't know. But if you just put a number to it and you said 80, you live another 13 years after you retire. You want to at least live off of what your salary was when you retired. I mean, before you retired. So anyway, I'm getting into math and stuff, and that's not my favorite subject. That's just, yeah. But my point is that I could beat myself up about not caring about that stuff when I was younger. I really could. I really could. Because that's what this video is about. I'm a late bloomer. Also, just an aspect of being a person and stuff I've been late to the party with is just caring about stuff other people care about. And I'm not saying, well, people care about money and people care about this. No, I'm just talking about stuff like, and this sounds funny to say out loud, like just home decor. I remember years of my life that I never thought, let me go to Pier 1 or Cracker Barrel and get some pictures for these walls. Or let me get some ornaments or, I never did. I never thought to do that. I never thought to do that. Seriously, I really didn't. I'm trying to think in my first house that I have pictures of. I don't think I did. And one excuse I do have is that when I bought my first house, I was house poor. I didn't have money. I didn't have money to like have any extras like that. But still, you think about tax time and bonuses here and there, a little extra paycheck. I could have bought pictures. I could have did stuff, but I never thought about it. And that's gonna sound so bizarre to people. I never thought about it. I don't even know what I would be spending my money on. Like, I'm not a person who's showy. I don't buy designer purses. I don't buy TVs. I didn't buy like, oh gosh, I'm not a person like that my money was squandered in any way on something frivolous. I think at first I was just surviving. But like, that's just what people do. You're supposed to decorate your house. You're supposed to decorate your apartment. But and I'm just now in the last 5 years getting into it. I think I may have wanted to, but we didn't have the money. And that may be the key to all of this. all of this things may be, I've never had the money to do it. Like throughout my life, I haven't been poor. Maybe some, I don't know. Maybe um, but even in people who live in housing projects and stuff, decorate their house. Like what? I don't know. I'm just a weird person like that. I'm just weird. It's weird. I'm just weird. I don't know. Or just other stuff like, full disclosure, I've always been an untidy person. I mean, junky, not drawers on the floor, pizza on a plate underneath the bed, uh, uh, dirty Pampers in the apartment type person. No, not like that, but just like some unfolded laundry may sit on the bed for a minute. My purse is hanging on the exercise machine. You know, I got some medical tape on the floor that I ain't picked up. I done walked over. A shoebox open, just sitting there open in the middle of the floor. I've always been clutter, a junky person. Like I said, I'm a lot better than I was. But what I'm saying is that other people grew up with like discipline. Like, okay, we get up Saturday morning, we doing this, and I can't even remember ever getting up Saturday morning. And I think some of it may be because I was the only child and they didn't make me do it. But I don't know. But it was like in my late 30s, early 40s, a resurgence to want to do that. Like it was just something, oh, I should be doing this. I should be preparing meals, and I should be. And I cooked for my kids growing up. But I don't think they had fast food. I cooked, but it was nothing like on the scale of, oh yeah, I got some chicken breast in it. I'm gonna put on the grill, and then when I got some gravy, I'm making some gravy on the stove. And then I got some crowder peas cooking. No, it was mostly like those stuffed chicken things you put in the oven and cook for 45 minutes that are like chicken cordon bleu or stuff like that with like rice. Yeah, and I can cook. I'm not a bad cook, but it's just that I never did. I'm just so, with this inner conversation I was having with myself, I'm like, here's another funny one. In between hair salon visits, you know, you wash your hair, you style it, you whatever. So every time I washed my hair, I would like blow dry it or even try to wrap it or whatever, and comb it out or whatever, and just use the curling iron. And I wonder why my hair looks so frizzy, why it don't look good like, you know, somebody else said they washed their hair, whatever. Here's me at, I think I discovered the flat iron in like 2007. Here's me like, hey, wait a minute. I think a flat iron is the key. I don't know if I looked at my stylist with one or what it was, but I was like, wait a minute. I could use a flat iron to do that? And that's the story of my life. It's stuff like that. Like, wait a minute. People do this? It's always one of those moments. Here's another funny one. When you're putting gas in the car, and I used to always wonder, what are people doing to make the gas pump stay there and they go sit in the car or whatever. I never knew there was a latch there. So probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm 50. I don't know. I think I either was too embarrassed to ask or didn't ask, or I don't know. But yeah, just life, enjoying things, buying myself uh just things that other women have. I don't know, it's just so weird. I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm weird. Uh yeah, just even like with my education. I went to school, got my bachelor's, I had my bachelor's in criminal justice, went to college straight from high school. Um and I didn't even know anything about a master's. I mean, I want to sound dumb. I did know about a master, but I thought that was something like so unattainable. Like, ooh, a master's, what is that? Can I do that? And reflecting on all this, I think of a lot of it has to do with me not having a lot of self confidence in myself, believing that I can't do that. I can't go and get a graduate degree. I think a lot of it has to do with self confidence. Um, I did eventually go back, but get this, I went back in 2018 to finally get my master's in healthcare administration, and I finished in 2020. I graduated, and my main motivation for doing that was I had been out, like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom for about 9 years, and this job market in general, people do not want to hire you if you have been out of work for any length of time. Mind you, I have been out of work for 9 years. So being out of work for 9 years, the question I used to always get is like, could you forward us your most current resume? That's the current resume. So my idea is that if I go to school and I'm pursuing a master's degree, I can make myself more marketable to employers. And that's the reason why I went. I mean, I like healthcare. I've been doing it for a while. So why not? I have, like I said, I have a bachelor's in criminal justice. I've never used it a day in my life. Never, ever used it. And I've been in healthcare, and hey, why not pursue that? That's the kind of jobs I'm looking for. And those are the kind of jobs that are going to pay a good salary, because healthcare is always going to be important. That is a safe career to go into, healthcare. If you're a nurse, even better. But yeah, that is another thing. And Johnny come lately, I could have got my master's, maybe not right after my bachelor's, but maybe in my 30s. I don't know. And I also have this thing where I think that people who do like these things, like drive school buses and semis, are like superheroes. Like I cannot, and fly planes, I cannot fathom me doing something like that. Like I said, I think a lot of the late blooming comes from not having a lot of self-confidence that I would be able to do that. And what I think I'd like to do, I'd like to just like take a class, like, I don't know if it's complimentary, you probably have to pay for it, like a complimentary class on like driving an RV or driving a school bus or a semi, just the cab of a semi, just a one lesson, just to, because RVing is something like I actually would want to do. And this is no disrespect to school bus drivers, anybody who does it. I'm just like, okay, now if some of these people can do it, I know I can drive it. But like I said, it's the self-confidence. But, yeah. I try to stay on top of stuff. Even now I'm learning new things about, I heard one of my manager at work talking about preparing spinach. And she's like, yeah, you know how you just put a little olive oil and the butter, the garlic in the skillet and, saute the spinach and it's good. And I'm like, I never thought to do that. Does everybody know to do that? I've never thought to do that. I've never thought to do it. No, I'm getting ridiculous, but I'm serious. This is how I feel like such a late bloomer. But yeah, just a couple things on my mind. So comment below, like and subscribe, and tell me what you think. Are you guys, or have you guys experienced anything like that? Do you feel like that? Just let me know, and I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.